Hi, my name is Gerry, and today I'm going to be looking at Toneforge Misha Mansoor by Joey Sturgis Tones. Toneforge Misha Mansoor is an all-in-one plugin encompassing a full-fledged 3-channel guitar amplifier along with effects, cabinet IRs, and the ability to tweak just about any parameter of your signal path. If you clicked on this video, I'm betting you already know who Misha is, but in case you've been living under a rock, let me give you the rundown. Misha Mansoor is one of the guitarists of Periphery, and when it comes to guitar tone, the guy really knows his stuff. And thankfully for us, he's teamed over Joey Sturgis to give us the ultimate guitar amp plugin. Now, there is a ton to go over about this plugin, but before we get into the details and how you can get custom presets designed by Misha himself and how you can get even more customizability with the advanced version of this plugin, let's see how this bad boy sounds like in a mix. Now that we've heard it in a mix, let's jump into Pro Tools and let's see all of the ins and outs of the plugin. So here's what you first see when you open up Toneforge Misha Mansoor, and right away it's very reminiscent of Misha's signature PV Invective amplifier, at least to my eyes. At the top, you can select between the 3 different channels, clean, crunch, and lead. And right below that is something really cool. It's called the infinity gain knob. And essentially, it gives you a way of manipulating the sound of the preamp's gain structure. So as you keep moving the dial up, it'll increase the gain. But once you move past this section, like this, it'll give you a different sounding preamp gain with 3 sections per cycle and a total of 4 cycles overall, indicated by this Roman numeral down here in the corner. Let's see if I can get it to 2. Yep. 2, 3, and 4. This allows you to get a wide array of sounds just from turning this one knob. Very cool. Here's your EQ section that guitarists will be familiar with. The frequency response of the EQ changes slightly depending on the cycle and section that the gain knob is currently on. So keep that in mind while EQing. The tight knob controls the tightness of the tone, and it does that by using a multiband compressor that's unique to this plugin. So if you want to be tight like a tiger, then crank this knob. Sorry for my terrible Goldmember impression. Saturation will saturate your guitar signal before it hits the amp, and Per adds a very welcoming sounding sizzle to your palm mutes by increasing the dynamic range of the low end. Here's the presence knob that'll affect the high end of the power amp section, and the range knob affects where in the frequency spectrum your presence lies. Channel volume, self-explanatory. Harmonics will add, well, harmonics to your signal after the amp, and the compressor will compress your signal before it hits the amp. At the top left, you'll see your gate where you can cut down on any unwanted noise. Underneath that is your input level control going into the amp, and to the right is your overall output control, and above that is a tuner, which is really handy. Now, if you look at the bottom there, you'll see that you can tab through different pages, and this works in a linear fashion. So your guitar signal goes through the first tab, and then the next one, and then so on and so forth. And if you double click any of these paths, it'll bypass it completely. On the first tab, we have a 1-to-1 recreation of the precision drive by Horizon Devices, even down to the look of the pedal. Now, I love this overdrive, so having it here in all of its digital glory is a nice touch. The next tab is, of course, the actual amplifier, which we already looked at, and the tab after that houses all of the cabinets. By default, it loads up the JST matched cab, which is the cab that offers Misha's exact tone. But if you want a different kind of flavor to your cab sound, it also comes with a Zilla 2x12, a Pine PV 4x12, a PV stack, and the classic JST 412, all with the option of miking them up with a 57, a 421, a Royer 121, and a condenser microphone. But if that's not enough customizability for you, you can also load in your own impulse responses, and if you load up the folder that houses all of your IRs, you can just tab through them by clicking on the left and right arrows. So you have tons of options with just the cabs alone. Next up, we have the effects tab, and JST really knocked it out of the park with these effects. Here, you get a very lush sounding delay, chorus, and reverb. Lots of options here too, with the ability to run the delay and reverb in mono or stereo, depth, modulation, pre and post of the amp, the whole works. I just love the look and the design of these guys. They actually sound so good that JST could release these effects as their own plugin, and I totally get it. So now that you have your tone dialed in, maybe you want to add a bit more presence, or maybe you want some low end. Well, in this next tab, you have a full-fledged parametric EQ, allowing you to further shape your tone that covers a lot of the frequency spectrum. Very handy having it here instead of inserting another EQ plugin after the fact. And finally, the last thing in your chain is a compressor, which is really great for tightening up your tone. I find it very useful for clamping down on ambient clean parts with dynamic delays, and even bass tones sound good with this thing on. So now that we've covered just about every aspect of this plugin, let's go ahead and mess with some of the controls. I have the song you just heard loaded up, and I'm going to mess with one of the rhythm guitars. By default, I use the bulb tight rhythm preset because I thought it sounded really good. But let's see what other kinds of sounds we can get out of it. Okay, let's go ahead and load up that bulb tight rhythm preset. And let's listen to it with the plugin bypassed. And here it is with the plugin engaged. So yeah, there is a ton that you can do. So let's go ahead and see what I got going on for the other guitars and the bass guitar too. So for the bass, I duplicated the DI and I'm using the exact same tone for both tracks. But the bass dirty track has a precision drive engaged for some grit, and I'm using a little bit of that in the mix. I also opted to use an impulse response of an MPEG cab, and I think it sounds pretty great. So here's what the bass clean track sounds like with the plugin bypassed. Now with the plugin engaged. Here's the bass dirty track. And now together. So for the bridge of the song where the solo kicks in, I made a crunch tone that uses the JST match cab and with the precision drive off. Cool, so let's see what I've got going on for the lead guitars. Pretty similar to the bulb tight rhythm preset, but with a bit more gain, slightly different EQ, delay and reverb, and I'm using the compressor at the end to tighten it up a bit. And finally, although I didn't track any clean parts for this song, I brought in a DI of a clean part from a different song so we can mess with some clean tones. Lots of compression, delay and reverb, and some parametric EQ for good measure. Again, bypassed. And engaged. So yeah, this plugin is perfect for the guitar player who loves to tweak to their heart's content and the engineer who wants an all-in-one solution to achieving crushing guitar tone. This is, without a doubt, the most comprehensive guitar plugin that I have ever used, and I will definitely be adding this to my arsenal of mixing tools. But for those of you who want even more, there's more. There's also an advanced version of Toneforge Misha Mansoor that allows you to access the back of the amp and change other various types of parameters such as the type of preamp tubes, topology, type of power amp tubes, and even the transformer of the amp itself. So let's quickly see what that sounds like. If you're interested in Toneforge Misha Mansoor Advanced, you can only get this version of the plugin with Joey Sturgis Tones VIP. What is JST VIP? Well, it's a monthly membership where you can get a lot more out of Joey Sturgis Tones plugins and from Joey Sturgis himself. You'll get access to member-only plugins like Misha Mansoor Advanced, like I mentioned before, custom presets and settings like the ones I used in this demo, ebooks, guides, and cheat sheets, and other educational tools, training courses, techniques, and video lessons, live stream lessons and Q&As, private mix critiques from Joey Sturgis himself, special member-only pricing on select items, and a private VIP-only community. You can get all of this for only $9 a month. You can cancel any time, and if you sign up right now, you'll get Finality Light and Gain Reduction as a bonus. So what are you waiting for? Head over to joeysturgis.com right now and sign up today. Thank you for checking out my demo of Toneforge Misha Mansoor, and a huge thank you to Joey, Fluff, and the rest of the guys for letting me check out this plugin. I absolutely love it. For more guitar videos like this one, head over to my channel, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.